Have you ever felt like you're drowning in the noise of the world? The constant chatter, the endless demands, the pressure to conform. It's easy to feel overwhelmed, isn't it? As if the world expects you to keep up, to speak louder, to do more. But what if I told you that the key to unlocking your true potential isn't to do more, it's to do less? What if the most powerful thing you can do right now is to silence the outside world and focus entirely on yourself? Imagine what your life could look like if you chose to embrace stillness. What would happen if you let go of the noise, the constant distractions, and simply listen to your own thoughts, your own heart? What if silence became your greatest tool, your secret weapon? It's a question worth asking because in today's world, we are taught to chase everything around us. The likes, the recognition, the external validation. But what if real growth, real success starts from within? What if focusing on yourself and staying silent could be the game changer you've been waiting for? We live in a world that constantly tells us to speak up, to shout louder, to make our voices heard. But let's face it, the louder we get, the less we hear. The more we try to prove ourselves to others, the more disconnected we become from our own truth. You've probably felt it before, rushing from one thing to the next, trying to keep up with everyone else's expectations, and at the end of the day, feeling drained, lost, and uncertain. The noise is overwhelming, and it's easy to lose sight of who you really are in the chaos. But here's the truth. To truly find yourself, to truly grow, you don't need to talk louder. You need to listen. You need to quiet the external noise and turn inward. You need to focus on yourself. It's not about doing more. It's about doing less and understanding that what you have inside of you is more than enough. The power of silence isn't just about physical quiet. It's about mental and emotional stillness, where your mind can clear, your thoughts can align, and your heart can guide you. When you choose to focus on yourself, you choose to take control of your life in a way that most people never will. Instead of constantly reacting to the noise around you, you start to create your own path. Instead of chasing validation from others, you start to trust in your own instincts. And in a world that's constantly pulling you in every direction, that kind of focus on yourself is a revolutionary act. But silence isn't just about retreating into isolation. It's about creating space for your own truth to emerge. It's about allowing yourself the time to reflect on who you truly are, what you truly want, and what your life truly means to you. In the quiet moments, the answers you seek begin to reveal themselves. It's in these moments of stillness that you reconnect with your deepest desires and your truest potential. The world wants to define who you should be, what you should have, and how you should live. But when you focus on yourself, you stop living according to other people's rules. You stop measuring your worth by external standards, and instead, you begin to define success on your own terms. You start to realize that the only opinion that truly matters is your own. And here's the reward. When you begin to focus on yourself, when you learn the power of silence, you unlock a level of clarity and confidence that you can't get from anything or anyone else. You no longer need the approval of others. You become your own source of strength. And once you realize that, there's nothing that can stop you from achieving the life you've always dreamed of. So why should you keep watching? Because this is the beginning of a transformation. The kind of transformation that comes when you stop letting the noise of the world dictate your life. This is your chance to step into your true power. And it all starts with one simple choice. Focus on yourself and let the noise fade away. The path to the life you've always wanted is waiting for you, and it begins in the silence. Have you ever tried to shut out the noise, only to realize it's nearly impossible? Every day, you're bombarded by the relentless buzz of the world. Your phone is constantly ringing, your inbox is filled with messages, and the outside world seems to demand your attention at every turn. It's as though you're stuck in a whirlwind, spinning faster and faster, and all you want is a moment of peace, just a chance to breathe. Yet the world doesn't stop. It doesn't give you the time to pause. The noise is overwhelming. But what if I told you that this chaos, this constant stimulation, is one of the greatest barriers to your success? The truth is, the more we're surrounded by distractions, the less we're able to focus on what truly matters. Our minds become cluttered, scattered, and overwhelmed. We lose sight of our purpose, of the vision we've worked so hard to create. The noise of the world consumes us, and instead of making progress, we end up treading water, exhausted, but stuck in the same place. You see, the world wants you to be constantly in motion. It wants you to react, to respond, to chase every new trend, every new opinion, every new distraction. But in doing so, you end up losing control of your own life. You become a passenger on someone else's ride, constantly pulled in different directions, never really moving forward. You become a puppet to the whims of the world, dancing to a tune that's not even your own. This is why focusing on yourself and staying silent is so powerful. Because in order to truly succeed, you need to take back control. You need to block out the noise, even if just for a few moments each day, and reconnect with your own thoughts. This isn't just about turning off the TV or muting your notifications. It's about quieting the external pressures and expectations long enough to reconnect with your inner self. It's about carving out space in your life to listen to the still voice within you, the voice that knows what's best for you, the voice that guides you toward your true purpose. The reality is, we're living in a time where distractions are everywhere, and they're getting louder. We scroll through social media, watching others live their lives, and we feel the pressure to keep up. We listen to the endless opinions of others, and we feel the weight of their judgments. But here's the thing. None of that has anything to do with your true success. In fact, it's only pulling you further away from it. The more you pay attention to the outside noise, the further you drift from your own vision. The more you listen to what others think of you, the more you lose sight of who you really are. This is where the power of silence comes in. It's not just about cutting out the distractions. It's about creating space for your own thoughts to emerge. It's about taking the time to reflect on your life, your goals, and your dreams without the constant interference of others. When you do this, something incredible happens. You start to hear your own voice more clearly. You start to reconnect with your deeper desires, the ones that have been buried beneath all the noise of the world. And in doing so, you create a clear path forward, a path that's uniquely your own. But let's be honest, it's not easy. The world is loud, and the pressure to conform is real. It's hard to tune out the distractions, to resist the urge to keep up with everyone else. It takes strength to block out the noise, to trust that your own voice is enough. But here's the thing. The moment you start to focus on yourself, the moment you stop letting the world dictate your every move, you begin to unlock a power you never knew you had. This power comes from within. It comes from having the courage to trust your own intuition, to believe that you are capable of shaping your own destiny. The more you block out the noise, the more clearly you see your path. The more you focus on yourself, the more confident you become in your own abilities. And when you build that kind of confidence, nothing can stand in your way. You don't need the approval of others to move forward. You don't need to follow every trend, to chase every opinion, to constantly check if you're doing what everyone else is doing. All you need is the strength to silence the distractions and trust yourself. When you do that, you'll find that you no longer need external validation because you've already found your worth within. Your own vision will be enough to propel you forward, and the noise of the world will become nothing more than background static that you can easily tune out. It's time to stop letting the noise define you. It's time to stop reacting to everything around you and start acting according to your own plan. The distractions, the opinions, the pressures, they don't matter. What matters is you. And once you focus on yourself, once you commit to staying silent long enough to hear your own voice, you will discover a power you never knew existed. Now, more than ever, is the time to take control. Block out the noise, trust your intuition, and start moving in the direction that's right for you. Because when you do, you'll realize something incredible. The more you focus on yourself, the more you start to create a life that's not only meaningful, but truly your own. And that, my friend, is the real secret to success. How often do you take the time to sit quietly and reflect on your own life? How often do you allow yourself to step back from the chaos and take a good hard look at where you are, where you've been, and where you're going? It's easy to get lost in the day-to-day grind, caught up in the endless cycle of tasks, responsibilities, and distractions. But in that constant motion, there's a critical question we forget to ask ourselves. What do I really want? What truly matters to me? And most importantly, who am I without all the external noise? Self-reflection is one of the most powerful tools you can use to create a life that is authentically yours. But it's something that many of us neglect. We think we don't have time for it, or we fear what we might find when we stop moving and start looking inward. But the truth is, if you don't take the time to reflect, you're missing the opportunity to truly understand yourself and your potential. Without reflection, you simply drift, reacting to the world instead of shaping your life with intention. Taking the time to focus on yourself isn't selfish, it's necessary. It's in those quiet moments when you stop everything and allow yourself to be still that you connect with your deepest desires and your true purpose. When you reflect, you look beyond the surface distractions and dig deep into what drives you, what excites you, and what truly fulfills you. You uncover the truths about yourself that have been buried beneath the constant demands of the world. And when you find those truths, you find the courage to live them out. Self-reflection brings clarity. It helps you make sense of the noise. When you are constantly surrounded by distractions, it's easy to lose sight of your own vision. But when you step away from the noise and reflect, you get the chance to see things from a higher perspective. You gain insight into your habits, your mindset, and your choices. You see patterns, things you've been doing that serve you and things that don't. You begin to understand what's truly important to you, and you realize that many of the things you've been chasing were never yours to begin with. This is where the real power lies. Self-reflection isn't just about gaining insight into the past. It's about understanding how to create a better future. Post. When you reflect on your actions, you start to understand the forces that drive you. You recognize your strengths, but also your weaknesses. You see the areas where you need to grow, and you find the courage to face those areas head on. With this awareness, you can stop making choices based on fear or pressure. Instead, you begin to make decisions that align with your authentic self, your true values. But here's the thing. Self-reflection requires a commitment to honesty. You can't avoid the hard truths about yourself. You can't pretend that everything is perfect when it's not. In order to truly grow, you need to be willing to look at yourself clearly, without excuses, without distractions. This might mean acknowledging your mistakes, your regrets, or the times you failed. But these moments aren't weaknesses, they are lessons. They are part of your journey. It's in reflecting on these experiences that you gain the wisdom to move forward, to do better, and to be better. The power of self-reflection is also that it helps you connect with your deeper sense of purpose. When you focus on yourself, you begin to understand your own unique strengths and how they can be used to serve others. You begin to see that you have something valuable to offer the world that no one else can. But you can only tap into that power when you take the time to reflect on what truly matters to you. Too many people live their lives on autopilot, moving from one task to the next, without ever stopping to think about whether they are on the right path. They look to others for validation, approval, or direction. But what they fail to realize is that the only validation that truly matters is your own. And to know what you truly need, you have to start by listening to yourself. Only through self-reflection can you begin to understand what kind of life you truly want to create. But self-reflection doesn't just give you clarity, it gives you power. When you understand yourself, when you know what drives you and what holds you back, you can begin to take intentional action. You stop reacting to life, and you start creating it. You become more focused, more disciplined, and more in control. Instead of being swept along by the currents of life, you begin to navigate with purpose and direction. You move forward with confidence because you know exactly where you're going and why. It's in the moments of stillness that you discover your true strength. Self-reflection is the quieting of the noise that allows you to hear your own thoughts. It is the space where you reconnect with your authentic self. And it is in this space that your true potential is revealed. The path to a meaningful life isn't found in the constant pursuit of external success. It's found in the silence, in the moments of reflection that allow you to reconnect with who you really are. So take the time to reflect, listen to your heart, understand your purpose, and from that place of clarity, take bold action. The answers you seek are already within you. They've always been there. Now is the time to uncover them. When was the last time you truly spent time alone? Not just physically alone, but emotionally and mentally unplugged from the world around you? It's a rare thing these days, isn't it? To be alone with your thoughts without distractions, without the constant pressure of others' expectations. Yet, it's in these moments of solitude that the greatest transformation happens. It's in the stillness that you reconnect with yourself. Uncover your deepest desires and awaken the power within you. Many people fear being alone. They believe that solitude is loneliness, a void to be avoided at all costs. The idea of being by yourself for even a few moments feels unsettling. But what if I told you that the most powerful thing you can do for your personal growth is to embrace solitude? What if spending time alone wasn't something to dread, but something to cherish? The truth is, solitude is a space of immense strength. It's in these moments of quiet where we are forced to confront ourselves, to hear our own thoughts without external distractions. When you embrace solitude, you strip away all the noise, the constant input from others, the expectations, the judgments, and create a space where your true voice can emerge. This is where your most profound insights are born. This is where your creativity, your clarity, and your purpose come to life. In solitude, you have the opportunity to dive deep into your own mind, to explore your inner world without interruption. Most people spend their entire lives running from their own thoughts, drowning out the silence with noise, distractions, and obligations. But by doing so, they miss out on the incredible power that lies within them. When you allow yourself the gift of solitude, you create the conditions for growth and transformation to take place. Alone time forces you to face yourself. It gives you the opportunity to confront the fears, doubts, and insecurities that may have been hiding beneath the surface. And while this can be uncomfortable at times, it's also incredibly liberating. When you face your fears head-on, you take away their power. You realize that the things you've been avoiding, the things you've been running from, are often much smaller than you imagined. Solitude helps you build the courage to confront these fears, to acknowledge them, and to let go of the limiting beliefs that have been holding you back. But it's not just about confronting fears, it's about discovering your strength. In solitude, you begin to realize just how resilient you are. You understand that you don't need anyone else's approval to be confident. You learn to rely on yourself, to trust your own judgment, and to believe in your own abilities. The more you spend time in solitude, the more you realize that you are your own greatest source of power. You stop seeking validation from others and start finding strength from within. When you're constantly surrounded by people, it's easy to become influenced by their opinions and expectations. It's easy to lose sight of your own truth when you're constantly reacting to the noise around you. But in solitude, you get the chance to reconnect with what truly matters to you. You begin to understand your own needs, your own desires, and your own dreams. You realize that the life you're living doesn't need to be dictated by others. It needs to be guided by your own vision. Self-discipline is the key to unlocking your potential. It's the force that will carry you through the inevitable challenges and setbacks, and it's the foundation on which your future is built. Every small action you take, every moment of discipline, brings you one step closer to your dreams. So don't wait for motivation to strike. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Instead, take action now and make the choice to be disciplined, to stay focused, and to do the work. Your future self will thank you for it. The power to shape your destiny is in your hands, and it starts with the simple, everyday choices you make today. In a world full of noise, both external and internal, silence has become a rare commodity. We're surrounded by constant distractions. Social media, news, conversations, opinions, and 1,000 other things vying for our attention. We live in a society that encourages busyness, that measures success by how many things you can juggle at once, and that celebrates the loudest voices in the room. But what if the true power doesn't come from adding more to your life, but from stripping away the distractions and learning to truly focus, on the things that matter most? Silence is not just the absence of sound, it's the absence of unnecessary noise. It's the space where clarity is born, where ideas flow freely, and where creativity and productivity reach their peak. In the silence, you can hear your true thoughts. In the silence, you connect with the deeper part of yourself, the part that knows what's truly important. But in a world that never stops talking, how can you find this silence? How can you carve out the space to focus on what truly matters? The answer lies in learning the art of focus. Focus is not just about directing your attention toward a goal. It's about eliminating the distractions that prevent you from doing your best work, from living your best life. Focus is the ability to immerse yourself in the task at hand, to block out the noise, and to give your full energy to the present moment. It's a conscious choice to silence the external and internal distractions, to tune out everything that is not aligned with your purpose, and to put your full effort into the things that will move you forward. In our modern world, where everything competes for your attention, learning to focus is a rare skill, but it's one of the most powerful tools you can develop. Focus is the foundation of achievement. It's impossible to achieve great things without first cultivating the ability to focus. Whether it's mastering a skill, building a business, or improving your health, focus is what allows you to make real progress. Without it, you're scattered, pulled in 100 different directions, and your efforts become diluted. But when you focus, you bring all of your energy into alignment with your goals, and your actions become powerful and purposeful.